Not getting the right results from your speed light? Well, that's why I'm going to talk about the Gary Fong Lightsphere in the video coming up. Alright, so what is a Gary Fong Lightsphere? Well, Gary Fong's the guy who invented this small little sphere. There's other ones on the market. However, Gary's a great marketer. He also made a very good product, so that's why it's sort of become well known in the photography world. Let's first talk about the make and the shape and why it looks the way it does. So this Lightsphere has this round cone shape, and then you just put this little dome on top like this. And the thing about it is it's a fairly easy, simple design, right? There's nothing to it, all right? You can take this little dome off. It's fairly hard, can't really bend it. However, this part is really bendy, all right? And it can collapse down something like this, all right? You can store it like this, or you could even use it collapsed. You can go like the other way and use it collapsed like this. All right, I usually don't. Most people use it like this because you want to get more light. This is super durable, lightweight, easy to travel with. You know, you can crumple it down if you have to, put it in your box like this. This thing is a little more cumbersome, but still pretty small, so it's easy to travel with. Now, when we talk about light, we want to talk about the direction, the quantity, and the quality of the light. So I had the speed light right here, and the speed light is great. It fits right on your camera. So if I have my camera right here, I can just put my speed light on. All right, so my speed light just goes on like that on the top, the hot shoe on the top, okay? So a lot of photographers put the speed light on top like this because it's very convenient and easy. And you can just aim, point, and shoot your camera, and bam, I'm good, right? However, it produces a very unflattering light. I call this the DMV lighting, right? So at the DMV, they just put the light right here, right above the camera, and you get that very unflattering look. You get the weird shadow behind you. Some people shoot like that. However, most people don't do that, and they get scared of using lighting because they don't understand it. I'm a huge fan and proponent of off-camera lighting and off-camera flash. However, I've been shooting a lot of events and weddings recently, and while yes, I can set up my off-camera flashes, there's a lot of spontaneous moments during these events, or if I'm shooting in a nightclub and things like that, I can't set up the light everywhere. So I have to use often a flash right on the camera, or at least right near the camera. And because of that, it's hard to control the direction of the light, all right? I can point it right at the person, but it's gonna give that, again, that DMV lighting. Now, the advantage of pointing the light right at someone, I can get the same consistency. People argue, yeah, you can use TTL mode and you'll let the light do it for you. The camera and the light will be synced up, and they'll produce the right amount of light. TTL works a lot of times. However, I am a control freak when it comes to lighting, so I like to do everything in manual, both with my camera and with my lighting. So I always put my lighting in manual and just adjust it up and down. Many photographers will rotate their camera flash up like this, and they'll bounce the light off the ceiling. So it hits the ceiling and it comes down. And here's an example right here where it looks very good. This was an event that I shot at a nightclub. It produces really flattering light because I'm bouncing the light off of a white ceiling. All right, so it spreads out nice and evenly and looks great. However, once I moved to an area where the ceiling changed and it was a lot higher, I didn't have time to adjust my light, and even when I bounced it, I didn't get the same look as I did before because the ceiling wasn't really even at the top. So it produced a much different color, tone, everything. So then my exposure got messed up. The picture didn't turn out as well. Oftentimes the ceilings aren't all white. Sometimes they're black, so you can't bounce them really off the ceiling. So what do? Sometimes you go maybe 3/4, or you do all sorts of things. You might bounce it off the side, off a side wall and things like that, and have the person turn. You just can't do that, especially if you're shooting weddings or events. You can't really pose the people. It's got to be spontaneous. It's got to be quick. All right. So that's why I decided to get the Gary Fong Lightsphere. It's not that expensive. It's very easy to use. First, I'm going to attach it, and then I'm going to talk about why I like this Lightsphere, why it improved the light. Okay. And then I'm going to also talk about the limitations of this Lightsphere. So it just goes on like this. You just unvelcro it. So it has this nice Velcro strap. All right, it just loosens up. You can loose around. It'll fit pretty much every flash that you have, on-camera flash like this, like Nikon, Canon. I like Nikon because they're really durable. They make really good flashes. All right, so now it's very secure. I can hit it, I can move around. It's not gonna fall off, right? It's gonna stay on my flash. All right, one little pro tip. A lot of people will shoot like this, or they'll aim it at the person like this. Both are fine. I prefer it up like this. You get a better spread. However, I like to turn it like this, all right, to the side. The reason you can turn it to the side is now that I have it turned to the side, I can shoot like this, and you know, the light's gonna be right there, okay, right above, give a nice, even, soft spread. And then, let's say I wanted to shoot in portrait mode like this, I just turn the Lightsphere like this, and it goes right up. Now, if I had it turn this way, all right, if I go to turn real quick and take another picture this way, the light is facing that way. It's not facing up, and I'm not gonna get the same quality of light, all right? So then I would have to turn it this way and then take the shot. And that's way too slow, all right? So if you're shooting events, shooting weddings, things like this, birthday parties, etc., this is gonna be a lot quicker if you just turn it to the side, because then you can turn it, you gotta decide which way you're going, and then rotate. So turn, and then I just do that one quick move, and I got the light right where I want it. Earlier I talked about the quantity, quality, and direction of light. So the bigger the light source, the softer the light. That's why I like to use octaboxes, because they're big. The bigger the better for me. So at events, weddings, it's not possible all the time. I do use them often when possible. However, like I said, you can't use them all the time. So this makes the light much bigger. Notice the source before. If I take this off, the light source is going to be very small. All right, it's just this round little surface right here. This is the light source. Okay, now look at this, much bigger light source. This light source is also very directional. Even if I pointed it up, I'd have to bounce it perfectly, and then I get some weird shadows underneath the chin, the eyes, and nose, etc. And it's not going to be the most flattering light. This spreads the light out everywhere. So that background shadow right behind you, that goes away. It fills in the light underneath the chin, all right here, the eyes, the nose, and it also just produces a more soft, even light. So again, you can do it if you have a nice white ceiling at the right height. You can bounce the light off the ceiling, get a nice flattering look. However, you don't always have that option. All right, so when you have the dome on the top right here, to me it looks like a beauty dish or an octabox because it has that nice round shape, okay, so it can diffuse the light. So even if you pointed it right at the person, you're still gonna get that nice round, nice spread of light, all right? You're not gonna get any harsh light. So the quality of the light is gonna be really good, and also the direction, it's gonna spread it out, all right? And the quantity, it's also gonna diffuse it because it has this on the top and here, so the light's gonna spread out and be much softer, okay? So the quantity, quality, and direction of light, remember those three things are very important when shooting people. And this Lightsphere, I think, does a great job for someone who wants to shoot events, wants to go very quickly, likes shooting in manual mode, also will work great with TTL. You don't want to keep thinking, all right, which direction do I bend my light? Where exactly do I stand, etc. You can use this and it will save you so much hassle and headache. One last tip before I go. If you want to make your light even better, you can use off-camera flash. You can hold it to the side a little bit. You can put it over here. You can point it at the person. So I want to wrap up by saying if you're in a pinch and you don't have another light to use and you have to use this light on camera, Fong Lightsphere is a great product to have. It'll save you a lot of headache. Any event photographers, people who shoot weddings, things of this nature, I highly recommend this. Now, people who do portraits, other things that are more stylized and fine art, this can work. However, I would recommend something larger like a octabox or softbox. I think that would be a better option. But in terms of getting something that has a lot of bang for your buck, this is a no-brainer for me. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to Tech Tuesday. We're going to have another tech review next Tuesday, every Tuesday. Tune back in. Brett Garamella, if you haven't done so, subscribe below. I do a lot of gear reviews, on-camera shoots, everything related to photography, as well as I also add travel vlogs and things like this. If you haven't done so, share this with a friend, press that like button. I'd love to hear from you, add a comment, and I will see you in the next video.